Early, this is the quote, early is on time. I can't.
Bear with her.
Hey guys, it's Lindsay, and I am back with my good friend
Greg Picklesheimer, hello.
And we're here for Theater Talk, and today we're going to be talking about rehearsal do's and don'ts. And we have quite a few of them, and we want to get to them all, so we're going to start right now. And the first one is go to rehearsal. You have to go to rehearsal unless like you're dying or someone else is. You really should be there. It doesn't look good if you don't show up, and to make the show look good, everybody needs to be there and know their part as much as possible.
Bring all of your music, your script, your dress and dance shoes regardless. Because it's better to have it, not need it, than need it and be like, oh, I left it at home.
I wish I wouldn't have done that. I have so many pairs of dance shoes in my theater bag right now. It's crazy. Definitely write stuff down and bring a pencil. You don't want a pen. If you mark up one of those script books that have to be sent back in pen, you're going to make your director mad and you're going to have to pay for it. So pencil, and always write down like music cues or blocking or anything that's going to help you learn what you have to know for the show.
Be there on time, but most preferably be early. That way you can have time to go to the bathroom, go over your lines, go over your dance, your blocking, whichever.
Early, this is the quote, early is on time. I can't.
Bear with her.
Early is on time is late, and late is cut. Wear comfortable clothes that are appropriate for what you're doing in the show or for that rehearsal that night. As long as it's comfortable and a little more form-fitting, especially in the legs if you're dancing, that's important. You don't want to wear stuff that, is touching the ground if you don't have to, unless it's a costume from the show you're doing and you have to know to dance in it. Professionally, you would wear what you would call blacks, and that is like black leotard. This is so that they can see your silhouette. They want to be able to know how your body and character moves, but you still want to be comfortable, and you really don't have to worry about all blacks in community theater.
Prepare for what you're doing, regardless. Know your lines, know your blocking, know your dancing before you go into rehearsal.
Especially if you know what you're covering that night already. This is a pretty simple one and it mostly applies to females. You just have to tie your hair back for rehearsals. If your director and people, well, in the audience especially, are gonna want to see your facial expressions, so you wanna have your hair out of your face. And at rehearsals it's just imperative, because if your director can't see what's going on here, then what are they going to do? They're going to ask you to pull your hair out of your face anyway, unless it's required for you to have your hair down and in your face for that part.
If you have a question, ask before rehearsal or during one of the 10-minute breaks or after rehearsal, because you don't want to ask a director a question while she's going over blocking. Or
especially if it pertains just to you, because then at that point you're being selfish because you're taking up everybody else's time. If it's a general question that maybe everyone should know, I feel like that could be a little more lenient, because if it's something that they all need to have aware or brought to their attention, then sure, but otherwise, no. This is another important one, because with musicals, and depending on what's been ordered and from where, scripts and librettos and scores can be slightly different. For instance, I'm doing The Little Mermaid right now, and I have known this show since I was 5, forever, and I know every word. I can probably recite the entire movie. and
don't challenge her.
The Little Mermaid, I've loved this forever, but if I had just went off of what I knew, I would not be singing things correctly. There are always minute little changes in librettos or scores or songs. Maybe one is taken out and a new one's put in. You don't know. And the only way to really know and get those parts is to listen to the music, especially the one that came with the books that your theater bought. It's imperative to know that stuff in your sleep. And honestly, in a musical, if you're doing a musical and you don't know your music and it's a couple weeks before show, there is no excuse for that. Zero excuse.
If you're too sick to come to rehearsal, please let your stage manager and director know as soon as possible.
If you don't call them, that's just going to make people angry, and it's so unprofessional. It's so much better just to let them know as soon as possible, and that way they know you're not just skipping out on them and, like, you know, playing hooky.
It shows that you have respect for them.
Yeah, it shows that you care.
Yeah, it cares that you don't want to get anyone else sick at rehearsal.
That's the big part, especially if you're sick. This one's pretty easy. Close your mouth and open your ears. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
Yes. Use your time wisely.
This is huge.
Yes, when you're not rehearsing or, you know, you're blocking or whatever, go over the lines, the blocking, the dancing you have learned on your free time. Because every free time is gold for theater people.
And I understand that people want to be social and your friends are there, and that's fine. You can do that, but you can also keep your head in the game. This one is also a pretty easy one that's very reasonable and makes sense. You should definitely have respect for your fellow actors, stage managers, crew, whatever. It's negativity in theater doesn't look good, and it brings people's morale down. It's all about being kind to one another and helping each other out. If someone says, I don't know the beginning of this dance, can you please teach me? And you know, and the person says, sure, I can absolutely do that. Just wait till we're done with this little scene. I'm free and we'll teach it. You just have to learn to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, and besides, negativity is a viral poison to a show.
Yeah, it's not good. You don't want to be the negative Nancy.
The sooner you wear your costume pieces, the better off. Because as soon as they have costumes for you, start rehearsing in them.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can start to get a feel of what you're going to be wearing. Because some examples, like,
I have a good example of this because I'm doing, like I said, The Little Mermaid, and in one of the scenes I am a seagull where I dance, and we're supposed to be tapping, but this thing came with like seagull feet, and we've never used them yet, so we're starting with them tomorrow, so that should be interesting. But if it had been up to me, I would have wanted them 2 weeks ago, at least.
I'll break a leg.
This next one is me talking about the dressing room because this is a big deal. You have to keep the dressing room cleaned up. You have to clean it, at least your area, but it's good to pick up all of it before you leave for the night. It just keeps everything much more straight, and that way when everybody comes back in the next day, you can just go right back to where you would. Just like, for instance, if you're coming in and you're using one of the makeup mirrors and you've set that as your seat, try to go back to that exact place every time. It just shows etiquette, and that way you're not arguing over spots. You just have to be mature about it, really. The other thing is you also have to put the costumes back where they belong. It all comes down to repetition and doing the same thing over and over. So if you know where everything is at and is supposed to be, then you won't be lost on where it should be at. And that way, when you come in the next day to get your costume, you know where it is because you know exactly where you hung it. This is our last do.
Last but not least, treat your theater like a sacred place. Treat it like your safe and happy place.
It is your second home.
Yes.
And it should be treated as such. And if you guys have any other ones that you think that we've forgotten, because I'm sure that there's quite a few, then share them in the comments below because we'd really like to hear it.
There's always going to be that one we missed.
And there's always going to be those few we missed. So don't be afraid to do that. And also, please subscribe.
The red rectangle.
Yeah, that button. That's what you want to hit.
Hit the like. Hit the like.
That too. We want to have a thumbs up. And leave a comment.
Please comment.
Yes, please. Because we love those and I like feeding off of them. It's fun. And especially if you have an idea for an episode, I would love to hear it. And last but not least, alert bell, click it too, and that way you can get my notifications when I upload. So we are going to go, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.